Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the MC of Recovery and Wellness and Relapse show, network, a whole lot of stuff. I've been busy lately. Um, we basically will start this off with the serenity prayer or something, or either the set-aside prayer. If you're on the other end of this video, just start in so we can go on in. Good God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Last time I was here, I was speaking about the emotional unmanageability within me, and I'm going to speak about it a few more times. The unmanageability within me. See, in the previous video, I was speaking about it from the standpoint of growing up as a child all the way up into my young adulthood of, high school and stuff. Having certain inadequacies while growing up, but replacing them with, different gifts within life. So, those sort of gifts, like in high school, like, dancing, pop locking, having music, being pretty somewhat good in math and stuff. Those was the tools that I would try, that I would use to control my emotional nature. And this is before alcohol and drugs. So that's a part that really suffices. Like I said over here in that last video, emotions are an affected state of consciousness in which joy, sorrow, fear, hate, or the like is experienced. And then I put in parentheses, distinguished from cognitive and volatile state of consciousness. That's what it said in the dictionary that I used. See? And I explained that circle and triangle body, mind, and spirit. So the second half of step one is the unmanageability within me. So the unmanageability within me, it's in the unseen. It's in the unseen. So now, high school and all that stuff is over with. I grew up as a son with a dad that has an appliance store. I'm working there. I haven't yet started going to college. I don't know if I went to a vocational school. Sooner or later I tried a vocational school. And one more time, alcohol and drugs show up back on the scene. So when it shows up, what I learned when I went through the 12 steps of the second half was that we had to do page 44, 45, and 52 of the textbook of Alcoholics Anonymous, and 60, 61, and 62 to get a little enlightenment on the unmanageability within it. Because when you're like in your early 20s or approaching your early 20s, it was like everything was fast. I still was suffering from the fact that, I had other issues right in my household. Working for your dad, and then, you see they have your car, but I don't have the willpower to initiate of getting a license because I'm still drinking. I go take the written test for the DMV, but no one won't teach me how to drive the so-called Vega that I had in the yard. See, we had one of them old Vegas. It looked like, it's to me, it was like an upgrade from having a Pinto. So, to make a long story short, like I said, a whole lot of other videos, those was all good excuses because within my emotions, I'm not having my way. So by me not having my way, I sure can't fight off a mental obsession that I don't know nothing about. So I take a drink because I'm trying to control something in the unseen. So it's all types of things that people do even before they even get to the program, that you're trying to control something in the unseen. Some people will take a drink. Some people will gamble. You see I got on this gambling like cards shirt. Some people will eat. Some people will even steal stuff that they don't even have to steal. Kleptomaniac Anonymous. Klepto Anonymous. Some people shop. So these are all sorts of things that could be created within the unseen. And within the unseen, that's what we call a spiritual malady. I meant to write that definition down. The malady, being that is deep-seated. And when I looked at that word seated, that is deep-seated in me, meaning it been planted deep down within me, these uncontrollable emotions, I never could tie it into something to do until I went through this work. And writing this work on this 44 and 45, I'm going to try to read some of it, some of the highlighted areas real quick. Even though the title of this say, we agnostics, we're not going to talk about God. If you hear God, think of a lowercase g, not a capital. So, in the preceding chapter, we have learned something of alcoholism, the I, self, and me. See, that's that ism. We hope that we have made it distinguish between the crackaholic, the alcoholic. Dude, it don't say that, but that's how I was taught with a sponsor, and some of y'all may say like a mentor, to comprehend what is this text talking about to me. And then when we honestly want to, we find we cannot quit entirely, or when drinking, smoking, gambling, shopping, overeating, tweaking, you have little control over the amount you take, or probably you're probably an alcoholic, a crackaholic, a overeataholic, a menthaholic, a weedaholic. If that be the case, you may be suffering from an illness which only a spiritual experience can conquer. So, what is the spiritual experience? So I had this emotional malady within me that, people have told me no, and then if you haven't told me no, sometimes just your mere action is enough to affect an individual of my type, emotional nature. So, let's go to 45. And what I liked about 45, at first we're going to go at the bottom of 44 and then slide over to 45. If a mere code of morals or a better philosophy of life were sufficient to overcome alcoholism, thyself, and me, see, that's what makes me an alcoholic also, is that I'm always thinking about I, self, and me, isms. many of us would have recovered a long time ago. See, if a mere code of ethics that I know I've been putting my hand in my pocket, going to the liquor store, blacking out, getting drunk, talking crazy to people, not able to make it to work on time, drinking on the job or something like that, gambling before going to school or work, like it's always about a come up. And if it was a mere code of ethics of me coming up, handling my business, I would have recovered a long time ago. I wouldn't really have no need to take the first drink. So it wasn't that. Then in the middle of the page, talking about lack of power. That was my dilemma. They say our dilemma. See, this is a we program, or we fellowship. Matter of fact, that's how the Creator created us, for it to be a we thing. We had to find the power by which we could live. And it had to be a power greater than ourselves, myself, in order for me to live. And that started explaining something about this emotional nature within me. So, and then I'm going to jet down to the page to another highlighter. We know how it feels. We have shared his honest doubts and prejudice. Some of us have been vitally anti-religious. To others, the word God brought up a particular ideal of him in which someone tried to impress them during our childhood. Perhaps inject this particular conception because it seems inadequate, poor and weak to me, because I'm looking like, oh, you believe in God, like, shit, that ain't gonna work for me. Sure, I'm trying to fix these emotions that's jabbing me inside, and I'm trying to control that and act off of that, but it's not working. So, and then on 52, see, I ain't going to get a chance to get to 60, 61, and 62. But on 52, it said, but most of the fields our generation has witnessed complete liberation of our thinking. Let me skip that. Oh, yeah, no. Complete liberation of our thinking. That's what it said. But in most fields, our generation have witnessed a complete liberation of our thinking. Freedom of our thinking, right? Show any longshoreman a Sunday supplement describing a proposal to explore the moon, take off like they say on the news, put them satellites and stuff out there, right on the moon. It means of a rocket, and he will say, I bet they do it. And that's what we've been saying for a long time. I bet you they do that. We said a long time ago when we was watching the Jetson cartoon, that would be really cool if some of that stuff can really true. And here we at. Got 3D TV and all that stuff. So that's what that part is talking about. So I bet they do it. Maybe not so long either. And here's a highlight area. Is not our age characterized by in which we discard old ideals for new, by the complete readiness with which we throw any away, theories and gadgets which does not work for something new which does. So this is when individuals then told me where some of the lay aside prayer and the sit aside prayer stuff came from. That section. That you sit aside some of your old ideas. That's why I mentioned earlier in this video, if you hear God, and when we get over there to step 2, coming to believe in the power, we're talking about a lowercase g. That's how I break it down to the individual. Because in 3, you're going to connect with the power. You're going to show proof that you believe in the power more greater than yourself. And we had to ask ourselves, we couldn't apply our human problems or we had to ask ourselves, we shouldn't apply to our human problems this same readiness to change our point of view. We were having troubles with personal relationships. That's 1. 2, we couldn't control our emotional nature. That's 2. We were a prey to misery and depression. That's 3. We couldn't make a living. We had feelings of uselessness and we were full of fear. We were unhappy. We couldn't seem to be of real help to other people. And I had to answer all those questions. Yes, 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 yes. They all applied to me. It applied to me. I couldn't be of help of other people. Was this not the basic solution of all these bedevilments? More important than whether we should see newsreels of lunar flights, of course it was. See, I couldn't control a lot of those emotions, so when I couldn't have something to drink, I'd go watch a cartoon, I'd go do something. Cartoon, sitcom, some movie, something to get out of myself. So with that, I would like to say, man, it's a whole lot to break down right in that one sentence. I couldn't make a living. I couldn't seem to get a real grips on life. I would go to different vocational schools, trade tech, or some schools, and then I'd be thinking all things be real good and real going on real smooth, and then I get one jolt to where, it may seem like things is not happening fast enough. And they do have a saying that they say in these treatment centers and programs and fellowships and even in the world, don't leave 5 minutes before the blessing comes. Oh, and y'all see this picture here. See, this is the type of alcoholic I was. See, taking the drink, and then the drink wants to drink. So it's like, dude, this is really something else. This is something I found at one of those garage sales, and I had to get it and make it be one of the props. So until then, get back with me. Thank you for showing up.